you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
How have you seen Quentin Jefferson evolve the last month or so? Seems like he's had some good games.
Yeah, it's good to watch Q grow and develop. Watching confidence. The guys are really doing a great job of working well together and making each other better. I think the D-line is really coming together, and the games, their closeness, their bond, it really shows in the way they play and how hard they play. So it's watching Q be a part of that, and watching him from last year into this year. It's fun to see, coach-wise, young players really start to find themselves and find out what they do the best.
What was the difference in the pass rush in the second half of that Packers game, do you think?
Well, they got there. They got home. I think going into the game, everybody felt like we had to do a great job of keeping Rodgers in the pocket. He's great at extending plays, and early in the game he got loose, and so it was something that became more of an emphasis that was already an emphasis. And they stepped up, and they were doing just a little bit better than they were before. But they played how they practiced. They practiced doing a really good job of keeping them in the pocket, really closing them, getting to them, and that's just just your practice habits carrying over to the game.
You coached Bobby when he was a young guy and had some veterans around him, and then you come back here and he's the veteran leader of that defense. Just have you seen him kind of evolve in terms of being a leader?
Well, it's amazing watching a young player learn how to play the game, learn how to be a pro, and then see him become a pro, a really good pro. And just watching his involvement and his growth has really been amazing. His ability to speak up, his ability to express himself, both physically, emotionally, mentally, and then being able to carry it over and make people around him better. He's learned how to not only be a really good player, make the guys around him better and bring the group with him. So it's really fun to watch the growth of a player and a leader happen right in front of your eyes.
What's he meant to your defense this year, especially with so many young guys?
Just the glue. When everybody knows Bobby's in there, everything's going to be all right. He's running, he's hitting, he's making the signal calls, he's checking defenses, he's calling different defenses, and he's blitzing, he's covering, he's running down with the fastest receiver on the other team. He does it all. He's the complete package.
How has Shaquill Griffin handled his rookie season and the fast start and what he's done?
It's fun to watch him start from the moment he got off the plane and came here to seeing his growth now at this point in the season. Again, he's another guy that's able to express himself. He's talking a lot more. He's smiling a lot more. His confidence is at a high level. You can talk just basic football with him now. He's a core member of the special teams, so watching him just really run down and do the things that the special teams guys run and hit and just enjoy ball. We like guys who really are just gym rats and love ball. And Griff is one of those guys. He's fitting in really well.
How did he handle going from starting to then having to watch and learn and grow?
Well, he never really was the starter. He filled in for the starter. He did a really good job. So he was doing a great job of filling in. And then once he came back out, it was one thing to learn it fast. There's another thing to learn it a little bit slower, not have the pressure on you. But he's a really good addition to the group.
A lot of different guys worked that weak side spot this year. KJ's been down, Shaquill, Marquise, Austin, Kendrick's, all of that. How do you kind of view that group at now, and how you kind of cover for that now that KJ's on?
Well, it's fun to see because I think in the past, a big thing around here was depth at the linebacker position. Right behind the number one guys were the number 2 and 3 guys, or the guys that are in the bullpen or in the stable, growing and learning how to play this defense. And now we feel like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that can step in at all 3 positions and play very effective football. So it's really good to see the growth of not only the starters but the guys behind the starters, and they're all working together. So if we lose a KJ or we lose a Mingo or we lose a Bobby, now Kalitro or Griff or Kendricks, any guy can step in and play at a high level. So it's the depth, I think, that's really helped us in our group.
It sort of looked like, though, you went to Kalitro a little bit more as that game wore on. Is that just kind of a matchup thing? Or?
Well, it's just, you got to go with the hot hand. Kalitro made some plays, and he was feeling it. And I felt like, and that style of play, his style of play fit to what they were doing, the open game, the runs they were trying to do, the passes across the middle, and I felt like Kalitro was that fit his style.
Shalom Luani some on defense last week. Just what has he been able to contribute?
Smart, young, loves ball. He has a good grasp. He's been here a few weeks. Again, I had him at another place, and so it's fun to see him step in and give us depth as far as special teams as well. But he can come in and play, the strong or the free safety. He has that type of versatility, and he loves ball. So he just can't wait to get in. So coaching wise, anytime a guy like that studies and is just following you around the building, trying to get more knowledge and more information, anytime it's time for him to go in, you feel confident that he understands, what his role is.
What goes through a defensive coordinator's mind when he watches an NFL game with 1,001 yards and 105 points scored?
Wow, it's one of those wow games. I've played Kansas City. I've played, we played the Rams twice, and those are really two highly, tuned offenses who they test everything you have, and they know how to get guys open. They know how to tempo and put points on the board. So it's one of those games. It's where the league is going. You hear everybody saying what a great game it was, and I'm thinking defensively it was a lot of points. How can that be the greatest game? Because somebody's not happy. But right, they made some plays. Made some plays, but anytime you have that many points, somebody wasn't making plays on the defensive side. But it's kind of where the game is going. People like to score. On my side of the ball, people try to keep them from scoring. So at the same time, it's fun to watch when you're not in it. But when you're in it, it's really hard to deal with.
The late completion, I think it was to Devontae Adams in the fourth quarter that set up the field goal. What's the teaching point for Shaquill on that play?
Well, it's just, you have to rely on your technique. You really have to stay on top, rely on your technique. I think he had some issues at the line of scrimmage, and the defensive backs are constantly working on winning at the line of scrimmage and staying on top and keeping lead position. And from the line of scrimmage, when you play somebody that good, you have to really hone in on your technique and rely on your technique, and don't let the guy get behind you, especially when we're pressuring. And I was a pressure at that time, so he had to time it up with the fact that Aaron just going to throw it up. And they have a lot of success throwing it up and coming down with the ball.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.